for us to check in with David Heurtel, and our feature, of course, is brought to you by the folks at Guaranteed Industries, serving Montrealers since 1957. And with summer eventually coming to a close, you want to get ready for the cold weather, so give them a call and find out about a Can-Air climate control system from Guaranteed, 514-342-3400. David, I guess I should start with the big news today, the announcement by Disney Plus that there will be a Taylor Swift docuseries outlining the Eras Tour. So, and I know you're a big fan.
Huge.
Yeah.
Massive.
So big story, I guess, for everybody out there in case there has not been enough coverage of Taylor Swift and the Eras Tour. There'll be more.
Not at all. I was very disappointed last night during Sunday Night Football. We just saw her for a few minutes. I mean, usually, if it's anything less than 30 minutes, it's horrible.
I know. Very little of Taylor Swift during the Chiefs game. All right, let's get to the real news. David, the big news today, finally the good news, Israeli hostages freed by Hamas, 20 have been released, living hostages. Of course, there's still the issue of what happens with those, who are dead. But with respect to Donald Trump, look, and I think we kind of feel the same way about Donald Trump, but I think at some point, you got to give kudos where kudos are due. This deal has not happened up until now, until he got involved this time around. What do you make of this?
Well, yes, of course. I mean, even a broken clock is right twice a day. So, I mean, Donald Trump can, and deservedly so, deserves credit for what has happened today. And definitely you feel for the families of the hostages themselves. What an ordeal. But then there's going to be, stories tomorrow about how we got there and other stories. And then will it hold? Those are going to be the third, fourth, and fifth day stories. You'll remember this. I've grown up seeing momentous, historic events regarding the Middle East and Israel. I remember a picture of Yitzhak Rabin, Bill Clinton, and Yasser Arafat back in '93. And while you have to applaud these moments and hope for the best, we'll have to understand also there's going to be some questions about what the October 7th attacks themselves. There were a lot of questions about Israel's preparedness for this, and questions directly towards Prime Minister Netanyahu, and not only that, but also his conduct during this war and his government. And there are going to be a lot of lingering questions around that. And what happens with Hamas? What happens with Iran? Will they just calmly take their weapons and go home? I don't know. Let's hope that's the result. But there's still a lot to be found out. But today, for what it is, it's important and it's significant, and credit has to go where credit is due.
To your point, right? Everything I'm reading, sort of initial analysis, if you will, of this suggests the same thing, right? This is day one, and it's wonderful that this has happened. But, and I read a post where someone said, but this is not our first time through this. It's been going on for decades. Another person wrote, decades, you mean centuries. So to expect this to last, number one, and to actually change the course of what happens in the Middle East, I don't know. It seems a bit pie in the sky.
Well, the key here to me, Aaron, and we could talk about this for hours and hours, of course, and others who know more about this than both of us combined will continue to opine on this. But it's the reaction of the Arab world. Just before the October 7th attacks, there were some significant movement from Saudi Arabia, the Emirates, and there was definitely a shift towards normalizing relations with Israel. And so if the Arab world holds, there might be some pockets that don't agree with what's going on, but if the major powers of the Arab world stay aligned, there's a shot for sure. But on the other side in Israel, there has to be elections in Israel within the year, between now and next October, and so we'll have to see there what happens as well.
By the way, I know we kind of have an idea of what was in this deal. I heard someone mention today that pressure on Qatar and Egypt brought to bear upon Hamas. Do we know more than that? I mean, how did this I say all of a sudden, but over the last week or two, how did this materialize? What's in this deal that wasn't around there before?
Well, it's the 20-point plan, and ultimately, I think what really was the clincher was actually Donald Trump's personal involvement in this after Israel's attack on Qatar. That seems to have been the clincher. Again, I'm reading information. I don't have any more information that what is out right now in the public sphere. But there definitely was a shift there. It seems that at this point, what we understand is that Donald Trump disagreed with Israel's attack on Qatar, and the shift happened there. His personal involvement and coming in and bringing in, his son-in-law, Jared Kushner, and putting a lot of pressure to bear on Israel to approve this plan. Because, again, a lot of people are saying that, Benjamin Netanyahu's grip on power is tied to maintaining conflict and prolonging conflict. And so this is a major step. And let's remember, Netanyahu did not go to Egypt. He did not. Right. He stayed at Israel. And so there are still a lot of things that are yet to be proven, but it seems that was where the shift happened.
All right, and there'll be a lot. By the way, we'll have a CTV report on this coming up just in a few minutes' time, so you can get an update on the hostage situation as well. Let me ask you real quick, Dave. I don't want to run out of time here. Number one, and I asked this earlier of Julian Karagesian, this idea of Canada now trying to figure out whether we go ahead and drop the tariff on Chinese EVs after, for the first time, we actually heard the Chinese ambassador, and he told this to Vassy Kapelos over the weekend, say, look, if you drop your tariff, we will drop our tariff on canola and pork and everything else. What do you think happens here?
Well, it's a tough one. Talk about the 7-10 split, Aaron, because two very easy topics for our talk today. But on this one, here's the thing. If we open up to Chinese vehicles, this is going to hurt directly Ontario and our relationship with the U.S. because you're talking about, I don't know if you know this, but the big Chinese player in electric cars is BYD. Mm-hmm. They, around the world right now, they're selling for $20,000, $25,000 electric cars that are actually better and much more attractive than $60,000, $70,000, $80,000 cars that are made by either Tesla or the big three. So by doing that, you would, I think, get a very, very negative reaction from Donald Trump and the U.S. Two, I think it would hurt our own car industry. And even here in Quebec, the big bets that François Legault, and we know some disasters, but there's still some companies that are still going strong on the big bet developing car batteries here in Quebec, especially in Bécancour. That could take a hit as well. So you have to think about this very, very carefully. And so I'm not sure that the canola oil, while the canola oil tariff is important and major, you have to weigh the consequences very, very carefully here.
It's interesting because that's what we're looking at, our consequences here, right? You risk upsetting the U.S., you risk upsetting Ontario, and then you have Scott Moe getting up and saying, wait a sec, there are thousands and thousands of canola jobs here. This is going to be a tough atom to split, perhaps.
Well, politics, then it goes to politics, right? The Liberals, I would think we'll be talking about probably an election around 2027 for the Carney government. What's more important? And as we know, Ontario right now is much more important for Mark Carney than Saskatchewan.
We shall see. As you said, a couple of tough topics to basically start with today. David, real quick, did you catch any of the three candidates during the podcast talking about?
Well, I thought the clear winners were you and Bill.
No, seriously.
Yeah, sure. I caught some of it. Yeah.
And what did you? I mean, if you had to, we're going to run out of time. If you had to grade them, who do you think, or did anyone come out? Do you think better than the others?
No, I really don't.
Okay.
I no knockout punches. Nothing really to get excited about. This is a very granular trench warfare. It's going to be very low turnout. That's why you have very, very very tiny announcements, very segmented announcements to try to get bases excited on voting. It's going to be about organization. Nobody is, in my opinion, really stepping out, and the polls are saying it.
All right. David, appreciate it as always. Thanks so much.
All right.
Have a good one.
Week.
Take care.
Close your eyes, and you can hear the entire world come alive. 2026 FIFA World Cup is on, and you can stream it all live on TSN Radio. From the opening kickoff to the final celebration, every match, every moment. Listen to FIFA World Cup on TSN Radio.
Gives Canada the lift off.
Available on iHeartRadio.